And here we go, race number 10. Race number 10. Race number 10 of 29 here in the 1992 Throwbacks, as we are continuing to roll right along with this season. Phil Parsons has the points lead by 40 over Alan Kulwicki, 115 over Bill Elliott, 137 over Kyle Petty, and 139 over Sterling Marlin. And man, this is really an unconventional way to be shaking up the points to start off. We have a lot of drivers up here who aren't really accustomed to having great starts to seasons. Kyle Petty, Brett Bodine are way up here. Meanwhile, we also have drivers that are really having uncharacteristically bad starts this season. Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte both having the worst starts of a season of their entire careers. And Rusty Wallace also having just abysmal luck to this point in the season. Speaking of the abysmal luck, now we do have two different substitutes in for this race due to the accidents that ended up happening, unfortunately, at the Talladega Superspeedway. Hut Stricklin went for a wild flip, and due to the head injury sustained from that, he is unable to compete in this race. He is expected to be back in the car by next week. He's just unable to compete in this particular race, and he is going to be substituted by Greg Sachs. We'll see how that works out for that rather struggling team. And, of course, the big one, Ernie Irvan, being hit in, unfortunately, a horrifying airborne accident where his car was hit while being upside down. He was transported to a local hospital where he was in critical condition. He has since been taken out of that condition. However, he's still in that hospital. It's been several weeks. There's no timetable for his return, and at least for this race, we are having the debut of the 1991 Busch Series champion Bobby Labonte in his place. So since we've got the serious stuff out of the way, it is now time for the Coca Cola 600. And let's go ahead and talk about who's going to be on the pole for today's race. And on the pole, unsurprising to me, good lord, this 28's been fast in qualifying. Davey Allison on the pole for the 600. Yeah, I don't think this will come as a surprise to anyone. Davey Allison on the pole. Ricky Rudd second. Brett Bodine third. Ken Schrader fourth. Alan Kulwicki fifth. Mark Martin sixth. Tim Richmond seventh. Sterling Marlin eighth. Phil Parsons ninth. And Bill Elliott will be rounding out your top 10. Other drivers here, we've got Terry Labonte in 11th. Kyle Petty in 12th. Jeff Bodine going to roll off 15th, Rusty Wallace 16th, Dale Earnhardt 17th. And you could see Bobby Labonte there rolling off in the 20th position in his first career start. Here's the command for today's race.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
The engines are firing, and we are getting the race underway here at Charlotte. One of the characteristics about this track, it is very fast, but certainly narrow compared to other speedways, such as Atlanta, which have a much wider racing surface. This about the same width as Daytona. The pace car dives down on a pit road as the cars come down to take the green flag. And the green flag is out and we're underway here from Charlotte. And Davey Allison is going to jump out and he's going to take an early lead. Brett Bodine, he's had a very strong car over these past few weeks. We'll see if he ends up fading, but right now, looking pretty good. He's going to roll into the second position. The battle's on for third. And Rudd's going to be passed by Kulwicki. Kulwicki, of course, trying to get the points lead back. He knows what it takes to be champion. He won the championship in 1990. Speaking of former champions, we've got another one right behind him in Tim Richmond, as it seems like the 26 car just cannot get to the bottom of the track. Yeah, it's been a struggle to say the least. Ricky Rudd trying to get to the bottom, can't get it done, and now Terry Labonte is there. We were talking about drivers who really have not had good starts to the season. Terry Labonte is one of them. Through only a handful of starts, there was a point in time where through 5 or 6 starts, he was still below 30th in points. It's been an abysmal start to the season for Billy Hagan in this 94 team. Remember, this is the team that Terry Labonte teamed up with, and they ended up finishing runner-up in the championship back in 1984. They finished runner-up to Bill Elliott. So these guys have all worked together. They know how to get it done. The thing is that it's just been a really, really rough start to the season. Rob Moroso having another really good run in that 20 car, at least to start the race. Usually we see that car fade through the field, but man, he's looked very quick on first runs. If he could ever put an entire race together, that 20 team might actually start to be able to string together some top 5s and top 10s. We can see Jeff Bodine in 7th. Dale Earnhardt, another driver struggling. He is in 8th. Chad Little is in 9th. And Harry Gant, handsome Harry Gant, the oldest driver in the field today, he rounds out your top 10. Meanwhile, we're really going to have to start looking towards the front because this is going to be a 3-headed race for the lead. And you want to talk about who doesn't belong here? Davey Allison, Alan Kulwicki, Brett Bodine. Of course, Davey Allison, son of NASCAR royalty, Bobby Allison, the 1983 Winston Cup Points champion. And then you have Alan Kulwicki, the 1990 NASCAR Throwbacks champion. A very strong battle there. As you can see, Brett Bodine, where did I get Joe Ruttman from? Brett Bodine has lost the 2nd position to Alan Kulwicki. And Terry Labonte is trying to pick off 4th from Tim Richmond there. Speaking of picking off a position, Dale Earnhardt seems to have a pretty fast car today. Yeah, we'll see if he'll be able to convert that. Right now, Dale Earnhardt's actually the fastest car on the track. That last time around, 178 miles an hour. So Earnhardt's definitely got that car flying. We all know that he's very strong at tracks like this one, Atlanta, and Michigan of the sorts. So we know how strong the Intimidator is at these tracks. This is just a great track for him to go to try to get out of a funk, to say the least. Earnhardt trying to work on the back of Jeff Bodine. Someone's got 2 wins to his name. And, man, Jeff Bodine's won twice before Bill Elliott's even won once in that Junior Johnson machine. Did Bill Elliott potentially underestimate the power of this Melling team? I mean, it's clearly the case that they're underestimating something there. Elliott, to make the move to the 11, clearly was not the optimal option. But in fairness, Elliott is higher up in the points than Jeff Bodine right now. Just Elliott is winless, and Jeff Bodine's got 2 wins to his name. So, obviously, Elliott's got the consistency part down with that number 11, and he's in the contention for the championship. Meanwhile, this 9 team, this Melling Racing team, has been wildly inconsistent these first 9 races. So, maybe not. One driver we really haven't talked about yet today is our points leader, number 1, Phil Parsons. And as we all know, if he wins today, he's got a chance at the $1 million bonus when we go back to Darlington later on in the year for the Southern 500. And a win today would also net him a $100,000 bonus. So he's definitely racing for some money today. Another driver that is racing for some money is Dick Trickle, but we're not expecting him to do very well, to say the least. He is not even in the top 35, it looks like, so Trickle not having a good day, to say the least. Not many moves have been made back up here towards the front. Yeah, it seems like people are cruising around. This is typical of the first few laps of the Coca Cola 600. It is such a long race. You cannot be running this race wire to wire as hard as you can. You're going to be out here on the track for well in excess of an hour, even if there's no caution. So it is very, very important to remain disciplined in all of your moves, and this race has absolutely been won on pit strategy, and rarely the driver that is fastest in the first leg is also the fastest in the last leg. Well, if there's a driver that can do that, it's going to be Davey Allison in the 28. They got the monkey off their back earlier this year and finally got a win. They would love to get win number 2 this season, really start to climb up in those points. It's just going to be really tough to beat the 7 and the 1. They've just been ridiculously consistent through the first 9 races. Mark Martin, another driver who's really not had a good start to his season, is up in the top 10 today, 9th. Always good to see him up here. And Ken Schrader will move into the top 10 as he passes Chad Little. So you can see Schrader, he's having a good run today, to say the least. The aforementioned Bill Elliott here in the 11, running in the 16th position right now. I imagine he's just biding his time. He might not have the best car underneath him. His teammate Sterling Marlin only a couple positions ahead of him in 14th. Bill Elliott, of course, he's the savvy veteran. He's the 2-time champ. He knows how to get it done out here. He might not have the best car under him, and he's not trying to push the envelope either. There's a lot of racing to go. And, you know, despite that, you want to talk about racing. You're taking a look at the future of it right now. How about this with Bobby Labonte just passing one of NASCAR's greats there in Darrell Waltrip, and right behind him is a future star of the sport in Dale Jarrett. Now, I've seen him race down in the Busch Series, and both of these guys, I've seen them race down here in the Busch Series, and man, they've got a gob of potential, to say the least. We'll just have to see how they end up turning out, how that 18 team ends up turning out in particular. But yeah, both Jarrett and Labonte, they look like stars to be made in the future, to say the least. We'll see how they do. Back up to the front, Alan Kulwicki has actually gotten around Davey Allison. We'll see how that ended up happening here. Lap 17. You can see Kulwicki has been hounding Allison for several laps. And it looks like Allison did not get a good run up off of turn number 2. And there goes Kulwicki down to the inside for turn 3, and I imagine Allison probably just let him have it easy. And indeed he did. So give the lead to Kulwicki, but that lead might not last for very long, because Allison's still right there. Oh, he's still hounding him too. Allison can very easily try to get back around this 7 car. You want to talk about some speed today. Terry Labonte, he's got some speed underneath that 94 machine. He wants to be able to go out and get her done today. Yeah, Terry Labonte, another one of those drivers that's just stuck in a funk. Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, and Dale Earnhardt have just not performed up to their typical performances so far this year. A win will go a very long way towards getting those stigmas off their backs. Of course, Terry Labonte, his team's going over to a new manufacturer this season with Ford. He's been racing with Oldsmobile forever, with the exception of going to the 5 team for 1 year at Hendrick. But he came in a Chevy, and then Hagan turned over to Oldsmobile, and he's basically been running Oldsmobile since then. Yep. And of course, Terry Labonte, he went over to Junior Johnson, played with Fords a little bit there, but those late 80s Ford Thunderbirds are definitely different from the 92 Ford Thunderbirds that we have today, to say the least. Labonte's still looking for a way around this 25 machine. Charlotte, this is a notoriously difficult place to pass, and it's really showing here. I think Labonte's got the faster car. I'm pretty sure he can get around Richmond here. He just hasn't had the opportunity. They've just been running wire to wire, coast to coast. And every single time Labonte inches a little bit closer to Richmond, Richmond just pulls away a little bit. And you know, being in that dirty air never helps. You're sucked right up against the bumper of another car. It's going to kill your handling when you're that close. So that's also probably a detriment. And well, when you're running, and you're going to be running over 180, 190 miles an hour down the straightaways, and probably about 150, 160 in the corners here. Yeah, these guys are flying around this course, to say the least. Labonte trying to find a way around that 25 car any way that he can. It should be noted that Davey Allison's right there with Alan Kulwicki as well. Now I can understand Allison not making a move on Kulwicki, because if he makes a move on Kulwicki, there's a possibility that Richmond, Labonte, or both of them makes a move on him. So they can't go side by side. I totally get that. And maybe there's a chance that if Labonte gets beside Richmond, then that's going to let the two leaders pull away, and maybe Labonte doesn't want that. But I think there's a strong possibility that that 94 car is actually the fastest car on the track right now. Go ahead and take a look at lap times. Fastest car on the track last time around was actually Mark Martin. A tad over 175 miles an hour. The leaders right now are running about 174 around the track. So Mark Martin and Ken Schrader both about a mile an hour faster. So here they are right now, Mark Martin, Ken Schrader. These guys are just flying around this course, and I imagine they're going to be rewarded with pretty good finish if they keep up this rate. Brett Bodine seems to be slowly losing the plot. He got up as high as second, contended for the lead. Hasn't been able to get it done, and there goes Terry Labonte around Tim Richmond. And the two leaders are coming down to pit road, along with Richmond and Earnhardt. Yep, Terry Labonte not going to pull any punches. He's going to stay out and collect the 5 bonus points. You have to. When you're having such a good race, and you're that far down to the dumps of the points, you have to stay out. You have to collect those 5 bonus points. You have to do everything you can to dig yourself out of this mid-season hole and hope maybe you can at least salvage a top 10 points finish at the end of it. Because when you're this far back this early in the season, you're not going to be coming back and winning the championship. We'll see if anyone else decides to stay out. I really would doubt it. It does appear everyone else is taking the easy route. Coming out of pit road, looks like Alan Kulwicki's going to be the first one out. But he's not clear by very much. with a former Cup champion right behind him in Tim Richmond. A very hungry former Cup champion. And they got a 3-time Cup champion right behind him in Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, you want to talk about the best of the sport. We're about to see it here. I'm not quite sure what happened to Davey Allison. I'll have to look further back. But I believe Terry Labonte is actually going to come out as the leader here. Yes, Labonte out as the leader. Terry Labonte has exited with the lead. So 94, your leader. How about that? Now these drivers will have to pit 2 more times, sometime around lap number 60, and then 1 more time around lap number 85 to 90, depending on the strategy. Labonte getting held up on a lap car here. Of course, this is Terry Labonte. His brother Bobby is actually doing just fine right now, to say the least. He's knocking on the back door of a top 15, which would be an excellent debut, to say the least. Now, Davey Allison had a horrible pit stop. He came out in the 10th position. I'm not quite sure what ended up happening at their stop. I don't know if there was an issue getting the lug nuts on the car, if the car fell off the jack, or maybe there was a fueling issue of some kind. We're not quite sure, but Davey Allison falls way, way back. And that's just a devastating blow. He's got a car that could probably easily win this race. He's got to make all that time back up. Definitely a bit of a gut punch. And here is the man making his Cup debut, Bobby Labonte. He's in 16th right now, and he might be making it into the top 15. Remember, he's driving the same, this is the same exact car that Ernie Irvan ended up winning the 600 with back in 1990. This is a 600 winning car. And, of course, if Ernie was with us at the track today, he would be absolutely piloting that car to a top 5, or if not another win. Like, Irvan's just money in these races, but for someone who's never gotten into a Winston Cup car before, I'd have to say, not bad. Very good run so far for Bobby Labonte. Meanwhile, the leaders have caught the lap traffic. And here we go. Lead change in progress. Tim Richmond pulls to the inside of Terry Labonte. Oh boy, this is going to open the lead up wide open. Tim Richmond to the lead, 25. Look who's right behind him in that 7 car. Don't you discount that. Don't discount the 3 car either. Man, we're seeing some of the best drivers of all time battle it out right now. Richmond, Kulwicki, Earnhardt, Labonte, Jeff Bodine, Mark Martin. I mean, Martin's just been a consistency machine since coming over to that 6 car. I mean, if anyone can make a move here, it's going to be Earnhardt. And there he goes, down to the inside of Kulwicki. That's for second. Man, Earnhardt could really use the win here, along with Terry Labonte. Both of these guys could really use a win today. Earnhardt to second. And he's going to have to chase down one of his rivals, Tim Richmond. And here we can see Greg Sachs is having an excellent substitute role, currently in the 40th position for that number 12 car. Good job, Greg. And right now, 1st through 6th are pretty much underneath a blanket. And they're running single file. They are catching lap traffic, so we'll see what happens here. That'll be the 31 of Eddie Bierschwell. We'll see how that ends up affecting the field. As we come to lap number 40, we're not even halfway done with this race yet. It is a long, long way away. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if none of these 6 cars are even in contention for it by the end of it. We've seen so many wild finishes to the Coca Cola 600, just wild races at Charlotte in general. There he goes. He got stuck behind Bierschwell, and now he's got the man in black right behind him. Kulwicki makes a daring move to the inside. Wow. Kulwicki takes second. Labonte to third. Will Earnhardt fall further back than that? Oh, Kulwicki stuck up high. He's able to get back down low, though. And he can get around. And there we go. Labonte not able to make a move, so the top 3 have broken away. Earnhardt trying to navigate the lap traffic of Greg Sachs and Eddie Bierschwell. Jeff Bodine trying to really pull that car along. And Mark Martin will also pass the 12 of Greg Sachs. So there you go. We're now on lap number 43 today. We've completed 42 laps. Now at that circuit around, the fastest car on the track was actually all the way back in 18th, Brett Bodine, with a 177.267 mile an hour lap time. Those guys are absolutely flying right now. I'll tell you who isn't flying, and that is the 98 of Jimmy Spencer with a 171 mile an hour lap time. He is really struggling in that 98 car. Everyone seems to be in the 174 to 176 range, so 171 is very, very slow. And these leaders are consistently putting up lap times over 176 into the 177s. Like Terry Labonte's in the 177s, Dale Earnhardt's in the 177s. And then you look further back in the pack, and there will be some drivers pulling off 177s. Not a lot of them, though. Terry Labonte trying to take the second position away from Alan Kulwicki. Not quite able to do it there. Labonte should be able to figure out how to get around the 7 car at some point. He's a savvy veteran. He knows how to get it done. Labonte and Earnhardt both were in the same rookie class back in 1979. Of course, Dale Earnhardt being the Rookie of the Year that year, but not the highest rookie in points. That actually goes to a not very well-known driver in NASCAR, Joe Milliken. Actually finished higher in points that year than Dale Earnhardt. He was driving the same number 72 LG DeWitt car that Benny Parsons won the championship in back in 73. And speaking of Dale Earnhardt, there he goes. He makes the move on Terry Labonte, and he'll go around him. Now Kulwicki's going to pull down on Dick Trickle. That'll pull a block on Dale Earnhardt. And now Tim Richmond's able to squeak away. If there's one thing that Tim Richmond is very good at, I've always seen him, whenever he's leading one of these races, he is so good at lap track management. He just seems to be able to get around lap cars efficiently, never really get hung up by them. He knows when and where to call his shots, make his moves, and he knows how to throw those cars around his picks. he gets very dangerous, and that's how he was able to complete not just a lot of his passes, but also a lot of his wins by just driving defensively with that lap traffic. He is an absolute expert of it, and we're seeing more of that now as he separated himself from Kulwicki and Earnhardt, his two biggest competitors right now. And Dale Earnhardt actually ducks underneath Kulwicki. Kulwicki got a little loose there. I don't know if there was contact between the 3 and the 7 going into that corner. But they are side by side coming off of turn 2. Did not look like that Earnhardt got a very good run off of 2. But he still got the nose. Still side by side through 3 and 4. Kulwicki's finally got to relent, and he might lose a position to Terry Labonte if he's not careful. He will not. Earnhardt's got the second position. This has been a real treat to see these 4 drivers negotiate for these top 4 positions. And they are pretty much the 4 best drivers in NASCAR today. Just 2 of them are having an abysmal season, and one of them's coming off of an abysmal season in his own right. Or at least abysmal for Tim Richmond's standards. I'm pretty sure he was actually still top 10 in points. Now you want to talk about lap track management. Here we go. Richmond's got a gaggle of cars to navigate through here. That's going to be Stanley Smith in the 49, Wally Dallenbach in the 41, and Richard Petty in the 43. These cars are not exactly running at the leader's pace. They are in the mid-30s when it comes to position. We'll see how much this holds up the 25 car, and we'll see how much it holds up everyone else. Ooh, Richard Petty not being kind to Tim Richmond there. Earnhardt trying to get around the 41. Oh boy. 3 wide. Terry Labonte able to get around Alan Kulwicki there. How about this? We've had Jeff Bodine be able to hold off Mark Martin for the 5th position. It seems like Mark Martin's been right on the tail of that 9 car forever, and it's just not netted him in any position gains. With these top 6, they are so far ahead of 7th right now. Here is 7th place way back here with Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott, Davey Allison, and Phil Parsons. These guys are way back here. We're talking, it's a 6.5 second gap. So these guys are not in contention whatsoever. And we were talking earlier, Bill Elliott doesn't have a good car. He's just biding his time. He's probably at a 15th place car to start this race. They came down, they made some adjustments. He's got himself up, probably going to get up into 7th here. We'll see if he can ever end up getting better than that.
What's time you mean by the gold? You know what I mean. Fine.
And the leaders are now coming down to pit road. Tim Richmond coming down to pit road. Terry Labonte back to the lead. Now this move I kind of don't agree with. You're stuck in the middle of lap traffic. You're not going to gain a lot of time. Oh, I don't agree with this move at all by Labonte. You've already got the 5 bonus points. I would have just ducked down and come with the leaders. I think he's going to do another lap. Oh, he's going to do 2 extra laps. I don't know about this one. Labonte and Bodine both staying out 2 laps over everyone else. He's still not going to be able to make it on fuel, so I'm not quite sure what this gains. I really think this is only going to make you slower. Wow, look at that. Bodine was able to pull up right to the back of the 94. Either Jeff Bodine just gained a huge amount of time, or this was a really bad move by the two of them. Meanwhile, you're taking a look at, trying to take a look at Tim Richmond. And man, it seems like that he is all alone right now. Yeah, I don't see anyone reasonably close to him. I saw some smoke going through turns 3 and 4 here. Some contact was made, but I don't believe the caution flag is out. We are still green. We'll see where everyone else comes out with respect to Richmond. I expect Richmond's going to blow everyone away. And there he goes, right around the 9 and the 94. It's not even close. And Richmond's just way out in front now. And here's Jeff Bodine and Terry Labonte coming out. So Jeff Bodine's going to be second. Terry Labonte third. Mark Martin fourth. Looks like Dale Earnhardt's going to get out fifth. And Alan Kulwicki will be sixth. Phil Parsons seventh. Rusty Wallace eighth. Sterling Marlin ninth. And Bill Elliott's going to round out your top 10. So Tim Richmond is your leader, and it looks like he can just put it on cruise control for this stint. He's just going to need to make one more good pit stop, and he's got this 600 in the bag. Of course, you don't want to completely fall asleep. You don't want to blow a 4.5 second lead, which he currently has right now. Meanwhile, Jeff Bodine, Terry Labonte, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, they're all still here. It's the only thing is that they're 4 seconds back. You know, and I think Richmond will take his time with the lap traffic. He's not going to try to burn his tires off. He's not going to go aggressively. He's not really known for doing that. You know, he's going to methodically pick off the lap cars one by one by one by one, slowly but surely. And he's going to pull away from these guys. He knows he's going to pull away. Question's really going to be how... Well, we'll see what kind of a gap he's able to pull up. How far can he get in front? Meanwhile, you can see Phil Parsons here slowly moving up through the field. That'll put him up into the 7th position. That'll be easily good enough to keep his points lead at the end of this race, despite a not so good start to it. Oh, that's going to be getting passed for 7th if he's not careful. Looks like Wallace let him in there. If this was Bristol or Martinsville, Wallace would have been diving right in there. He would have been like, you're not getting that spot. A little more courteous at Charlotte, to say the least. Well, higher speeds, higher responsibility. You'll hear that a lot between drivers. And this debut seems to be getting better for Bobby Labonte. He's right behind Handsome Harry Gant. If he's able to get around him, that'll be 12th for that 4 car. And hey, Bobby Hamilton, after the DNF last week, he's having a good run as well. He's in the 14th position. Brett Bodine's run has really gone sour. After getting as high as 2nd, he's all the way back to 16th. Ken Schrader was also up towards the front. He's back to 17th. Ricky Rudd, he qualified up front as well. He's 18th. Kyle Petty, 19th. Just not good runs from those guys. But, yeah, keep an eye on that 4 car. Like I said, that is a race-winning car. It's won this race before. I couldn't think of a better car to make your debut in. A car that's actually won a race at this track before. Terry Labonte is going to take the 3rd position away from Mark Martin. The gap still 4 seconds to Richmond. And Labonte's did something really interesting there, as he sort of dragged the brakes a little bit so Mark Martin couldn't get down. That allowed Earnhardt to catch up, and now Mark Martin actually loses 2 positions. So an interesting bit of strategy you saw there by Terry Labonte, not letting Mark Martin get down and making Dale Earnhardt get to the bottom of him. Yeah, Terry Labonte basically gave Dale Earnhardt that position for Mark Martin. An interesting bit of strategies. I think that 3 car is faster, but obviously Labonte as crew chief think otherwise. Oh, they're the ones with the stopwatches, and they're the ones watching these cars go around this track. You want to talk about fastest times right now? That 94 car is the fastest car on the track. The only ones particularly close are Rusty Wallace and, well, Jeff Bodine, Mark Martin, and Dale Earnhardt. They're all pretty much right underneath a blanket. When we take a look at fastest lap today, that has been turned actually by Ken Schrader at 178.6 miles an hour. Labonte down to the inside. Hey, he's right there on the back of Jeff Bodine. That will be able to get him into the 2nd position. Of course, these guys are still well behind the leader, Tim Richmond. So, it's definitely a bit of a question to be begged to battle at this point. But even if you get up to Richmond, you guys have all been burning out your tires. Richmond's just taking it nice and easy up there. He's just going to be able to pull away. You got to make up that gap somehow, though. They obviously whiffed on the pit strategy beforehand. Richmond nailed it. He got it perfect. He's the king on the pit strategy. I don't know if they're going to make a similar mistake next time around or not. But obviously that 25 team, they did something right on that last pit stop to gain 5 seconds on everyone else. That lead has dwindled down to about 3.5. So Bodine and company are catching that 25 crew. But like I said, that 25 team is just really, really not doing very well. Well, we're here on lap 72 of the Coca Cola 600. We will go ahead and take you through the field. As we said, Tim Richmond is your leader. In 2nd place, we have Jeff Bodine in the 9. In 3rd, there's Terry Labonte in the 94. And 4th, Dale Earnhardt. In 5th, we have Mark Martin. In 6th, we have Alan Kulwicki. And we got to go a long way to 7th. That'll be Rusty Wallace. In 8th, your points leader, Phil Parsons, who's having just quite the breakout season in that number 1 car. And in 9th, Bill Elliott. In 10th, we have Davey Ellison, your pole sitter today. And in 11th, we have Sterling Marlin in the 22. In 12th, we have the debuting Bobby Labonte in the 1990 Coca Cola 600 winning Ford Kodak Film Chevrolet. And 13th, Chad Little. And 14th, we have Brett Bodine, someone who qualified 3rd and was able to get up to 2nd, but has fallen through the field a little bit, but he's starting to make up some time. 15th, pretty much right with him, Ken Schrader. And 16th is Bobby Hamilton, someone who really needed a good run today after the DNF at Talladega. And in 17th, handsome Harry Gant, who's starting to fall through the field. And 18th is Ricky Rudd, who just seemed to have missed the setup the past couple of times coming down a pit road, and they've really turned into a mid-pack car. 19th, we have Dale Jarrett. And 20th is Kyle Petty. They've really struggled all day. Same thing with 21st, Darrell Waltrip. 22nd, we have Rob Moroso, another car that started out very fast. And this team seems to bring and qualify a very fast car week in and week out. They seem to be up and around the top 10 for the first half of most of these races. They just aren't able to close them. I don't know if it's an issue with the reliability in the engines that they're making or what's going on with that 20 team, but obviously they're struggling a little bit. In 23rd, we have Ted Musgrave in the 55. In 24th, you have the Whitcomb Racing car, number 10, Derek Cope. In 25th and 26th, Morgan Shepherd and Michael Waltrip, respectively. And that's going to bring us to the end of our lead lap cars. So let's go ahead and look at the lap ones. In 27th, we have rookie Jimmy Hensley. He'll likely be wrapping up rookie of the race today. In 28th, Larry Pearson. He was in contention to win last week. In 29th, Rick Mast, as that 16 team really continues to struggle. And in 30th, Jimmy Spencer. 31st, Bobby Hillin Jr. and that Jimmy Means car really punching above their belt in 31st. They're usually not able to compete with the sponsored equipment, but hey, they've definitely got a good car here at Charlotte. In the 32nd position is Jeff Purvis. He seems to be having a decent run today as well. In 33rd, the King, Richard Petty. In 34th, you can see Stanley Smith trying to get out of the way of the lead lap cars. And in 35th, last week's winner, Dick Trickle. In 36th, Wally Dollenbach Jr. in the Larry Hedrick car. In 37th, Jimmy Horton. 38th is Eddie Bierschwale. We've seen him be in the top 20 in this car more times than not this season, so they know they've got speed, but obviously long run speed is a big problem with this team. Going all the way back to 39th, that'll be the 12 of Greg Sachs, not having a good race at all. In 40th, we have the 83 of Lake Speed, another driver who's just really struggling with it today. And then the last car on the track, Dave Marcus in 41st, 2 laps down. The only driver to be off the track is Kenny Wallace. He has retired due to a blown engine. We are now on lap number 81 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca Cola 600. And in the next few laps, we should have the next round of pit stops rolling through. Tim Richmond continues to lead by roughly the same margin, about 3.5 seconds. And what you're seeing right now is the battle for second between Jeff Bodine, Dale Earnhardt, and Terry Labonte. And here we can see Mark Martin ducking down to the inside of Greg Sachs. And Mark Martin is now in the 5th position. He's left Alan Kulwicki in the dust. Alan Kulwicki's fallen back to 6th. And there is another considerable 3 to 4 second gap back to Wallace and Parsons, who are 10 seconds behind the leaders. And another second behind him will be Elliott and Allison. They're 11 seconds out. And Terry Labonte able to get around Dale Earnhardt. That'll be for 3rd. Be a little more exciting if it's going for the lead, but hey, you've seen these guys, like I said, they are in the same rookie class. Watching these two battle for the 3rd position has definitely been a bit exciting. Earnhardt trying to duck down to the inside. Not able to do it there. And Labonte's going to be able to keep the 3rd position. And yeah, here we go with pit stops. Tim Richmond, the first to hit, along with Mark Martin. Now, how long are these leaders going to stay out? Jeff Bodine picking up 5 bonus points there for leading that lap. You know Bodine wanted the 5 bonus points. Other person who probably wants 5 bonus points? Dale Earnhardt. He would love to get some of them. Right now, Jeff Bodine staying out. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt ducking to pit road that time around. The pits are about to get busy, 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 to say the least. Bodine trying to find a way around the 66 car of Jimmy Hensley. Again, he's going to lock up the rookie of the race pretty easily as he ducks down to pit road. As his only competition, well, actually, no, he's not, because you have Bobby Labonte, who is not in contention for Rookie of the Year, but he's making his debut. I mean, he's just outside the top 10. We'll see where he comes out on pit road. I can tell you, if they got that 4 car up in the top 10, that would be insane. Can you imagine making your debut in the NASCAR Throwbacks Cup Series and you finish in the top 10? That's something. Bodine and Labonte finally come down to pit road. Where's Richmond? There he is. Richmond trying to get around the 21 of Shepard. Not working out for him. There he goes, finally. And now the moment of truth. We will see where this 25 car comes out with respect to the people just leaving pit road in Jeff Bodine and Terry Labonte. Oh, there's Terry Labonte. Jeff Bodine's way up there, though. Unless Jeff Bodine's way behind him. Oh, there's Bodine. So he's going to come out on the track absolutely nowhere near Richmond. And here comes Dale Earnhardt. He's charging hard. He's probably going to want second. 9 car not up to full speed yet. Can Earnhardt get second? Looks like he will. Earnhardt to second. Meanwhile, Tim Richmond looks like no one's going to touch him unless Dale Earnhardt can reel in approximately 3 seconds. Meanwhile, it looks like that Chad Little has actually retired due to a clutch failure. He was not able to get the car rolling off of pit road. Could not get the car back into gear, and he is gone back to the garage, so he will not be finishing this race. Sorry to the 4 Chad Little fans that are listening. Mark Martin probably is going to come away with a very solid 4th place finish. He's needed that. And Terry Labonte, definitely in need of the top 5. He's going to get that. Alan Kulwicki, I'm sure he would have liked better than 6th, but 6th is still 6th. And it's still an improvement on Phil Parsons, who will be finishing 7th or 8th, depending on if he's able to dispatch this 2 car or not. Wallace has been faster on longer runs. So the longer this run goes, I suspect the more out in front that 2 car is going to get. Oh, and that was horrible lap track management there by Phil Parsons. So, yeah, that's going to give 7th to Wallace for now. Meanwhile, Davey Allison, no competition for 9th. And Bill Elliott had to come to pit road a second time with his side of his car all scuffed up. And take a look at who's in the top 10. And he's about to get passed by Sterling Marlin. So I don't know if he'll be able to finish there. But how about this run by the young upstart, Bobby Labonte, making his first career start today in place of the injured Ernie Irvan. And he is up to 11th. That's a performance. What a great showing by Bobby Labonte. Here goes Kulwicki to the inside, trying to get around Larry Pearson. He'll be able to do that. look back towards the front. Earnhardt has left Bodine in his dust, and he's trying his best to catch Tim Richmond. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to catch 3 seconds in 6 laps. It's just not going to happen. He's got to catch him at half a second a lap, and that's just impossible at the pace that Richmond's running. Yeah, he's even running a bit of a relaxed pace, and even then, Earnhardt's just not going to be able to catch him. There's not enough time for Earnhardt to get there. He can maybe get him about a 10th or 2 a lap, but he cannot get him at half a second a lap, and right now he needs a full half a second. Yeah, and Tim Richmond's taking it real easy, under 176 miles an hour right now as the leader. He's just making sure he's not making any mistakes, and he's bringing it to the bank right now. Meanwhile, Earnhardt, no question about it, leaving nothing to the exhaust whatsoever. He is pushing it full force, and he wants Dave Marcus out of his way. I would assume so. Hasn't had a good opportunity to dispatch of Marcus. And that will essentially end all chances of him being able to win this race. Oh yeah, it's over right then and there. Meanwhile, we might have a good battle for 6th here brewing. It looks like that Sterling Marlin has disappeared from the 4 of Bobby Labonte, so it looks like that Labonte's going to settle for an 11th place finish today. Yep, Marlin's able to take away there. And now we go up front. We can see there's a battle for 2nd brewing between Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Bodine. And now here we go. Tim Richmond's going to come up. The white flag has been displayed for Tim Richmond. 1 more lap to go. And he should be able to cruise home easily with the Coca Cola 600 victory today. We will once again go another year without a Winston Million winner, as we've had 3 different winners in the first 3 Winston Million races. The checkered flag is out. Tim Richmond has won the Coca Cola 600. As that's got to be one of the fastest, if not the fastest, Coca Cola 600 on record. Look at that, 168.378 miles an hour. Quite a remarkable average speed, to say the least. To be able to get this race done in an hour is quite the achievement. You can see the standings here to your left. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at the points, with Tim Richmond getting his 2nd win of the year. That's going to boost him up to 3rd in the points. And man, that was a dominating performance by Tim Richmond, and it seems like he's the one that's been able to get up there and lead in so many different races, along with Bodine. Jeff Bodine, I should say. Jeff Bodine. That race also catapults the 3 into the top 20 in points. He's up to 17th. Terry Labonte's still just outside of the top 20. And how about that rookie, Bobby Labonte, getting 11th in his first career start at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What a performance from him. Anyways, the next race is going to be at the Dover Downs International Speedway, the Budweiser 500.